We
Promise
can
this
never let.
party.
I already did your first part. She already introduced herself and told us she's a doctor. She does she's an accountant and she has some businesses that she does. So she already told us about herself. So you take over from here and do your part. Then I will come and do my part. Yes.
So today we are on a money discussion, or
Yes.
is that it?
Like that. It's
Today
on a
we are
money
talking
discussion. Let's get
business. We
right
are
to it.
talking money, honey. We're talking money.
Yes.
Okay, it's a pleasure to meet you, Doc. We like to say Doc. We don't say Doctor completely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
The pleasure is really mine. I'm not too comfortable talking about money because I don't have money. I don't have much yet. In fact, I don't know if I have some yet, but
Please, you do. You do. You just do in another time, but you do.
Yeah, money.
so like I would just want to ask you, with what you're doing. I saw some terms. I don't know if I might ask again, like, what does it mean to be like a certified public accountant? Like,
That's
what
awesome.
what is
Oh,
it?
that's good. That's
There are
good.
terms we don't know in Cameroon. Like,
Yes.
I've never heard about it. I don't know what it means. Please,
Yes,
can
yes.
you?
That is so good. Because I think there's a lot that people do not know about our space. So a certified public accountant is first is an accountant. Okay, so
Yes.
everybody that goes to school and gets a bachelor's degree in accounting is an accountant.
Yes.
But you have now a couple of people that have gone the extra mile. They have acquired additional credits and studied really hard to take this 4-part exam. It's called the Uniform Certified Public Accountant exam. Most states in the US will require you to have a master's degree to sit for it, or at least 150 credit hours. Now,
Wow.
this exam is 4 sections and is extremely difficult, right? They give you 18 months to finish 4 sections. That's to give you an idea. And then let's say if you don't pass all 4 within 18 months, they start to expire. So you have people that have been writing this exam for 6 years, and I have to give it to them because I don't know how they don't give up. But so when you're done with the exam, what being a CPA does for you in the US is that it gives you a lot of authority because you become a trusted voice in the space. Kind of like lawyers are special, they have a specialty with the law, interpreting the law. We have the specialty in interpreting numbers, and it could go from taxation. It can go into auditing the books of companies to make sure that whatever they are saying that they have, they actually have it. And only a CPA in the US can audit someone's financial statements and give an opinion. An opinion means to say if it's right or wrong, and they
Oh.
can go to the stock market and raise funds, which
Oh.
means no company can be on the stock market, like Facebook, all of them, without going through a CPA firm that will audit their books to say these people have everything that they say they have, and that you can trust them that the money that you put into the company will go to good use. Because companies have lied to people, right? You see it all the time. They'll claim that we
Yes.
have all this when they don't have it.
But they
And
don't have
so
it. Yeah.
CPAs are the only profession that can do that. And then when people are dealing with the IRS, that's our tax authority, we are one of the few professions that can represent you in a tax court. And so we're able to interpret the tax law. We're able to help business owners to be able to apply the tax law so that they can leverage it for their good. Taxes in America, people don't know that it's really for business owners and real estate investors. But a lot of people, because they don't leverage a CPA, because like a lawyer, we're professional, so you pay for the time. And most people don't want to invest a little money for a bigger outcome. So they end up losing more money down the road. So our profession helps people to be able to understand how to apply the tax law for their benefit. And then it doesn't only end there. We help people that want to strategize with their businesses, want to grow their businesses. Business owners that want to seek funding, for example, if they went to the bank will want to know if they actually own their business, how much percentage do they own. We have the authority to write a letter to the bank to confirm that this person actually owns their business. So we are like that. That when it comes to numbers, like in Cameroon, I don't know, I've forgotten what the authority is, but when it comes to numbers here in the US, between people who can audit the books of a company, people who can represent you with the IRS, with tax court, people that understand the tax law and can help you really apply it and leverage it to your advantage, we are the one authority for that. We are that body. Now, you can have people that went to school and passed the exam to become CPAs, but they'll never become, though you cannot call them CPAs because they are not licensed. So they pass the exam, but when you pass the exam, it's just one part. You have to go through rigorous training under another CPA and then apply for a board to license you. Now,
Wow.
when the board
That's like
licenses you, it
nursing.
does not end there. Every year, you have to take continuous education credit, which means you have to continuously educate yourself because the laws are changing. So if you went and met a CPA who had a CPA in 1980, he has not opened his books, tax laws are changing. That person cannot help you add value.
Cannot
You see
help you.
what I'm
That's true.
saying?
Yeah,
So
that's true.
now, if you met somebody who says they're a CPA, you can go, we have a database you can verify. If they are not licensed, you want to run because
That's
they are not
true.
licensed, they might not know what the new laws are. If they are not licensed, if you have a problem that needs a CPA to sign, they cannot sign
They
it
cannot
because
sign
they
it.
cannot call themselves a CPA without being licensed. So it's
Wow.
very
Wow.
important that we specify that someone is a licensed CPA versus just someone who has passed the exam. Right?
Wow.
It's like people went
That's
to school and
good.
passed the exam, pass A levels. If they don't
Wow.
really go to the next level to apply it and all of that,
Yeah.
it's of no use, right? I mean, it's
That's
good they
true.
have
That's
it,
true.
but if they were to get some kind of certification from that, they will not be recognized if they are not keeping up with it. Yes.
Wow. Wow, sis. Thank you so much for that
Yes.
information.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. That's why I always tell Pancho that this show, the
Yes.
guests that we bring on the show, the goal is not only to educate people or to impact people's lives, but we on Glam Media, we have to be benefiting from
Yes.
every guest. And I kid you not, all the guests that have come here, there's always one thing or the
Oh
other that we learn
wow. I
from them
love
and
that.
that we have implemented on our Glam
I
Media
love
show. It's
that.
it's like, for me, I just go in search of people
Yes.
that can help
Yes.
us. So
I
we are
see how
part of those that
intentional you
can
are.
learn, yes, from you.
Yes.
And what you just talked about, I can relate because I'm a nurse. Here in
Yes.
America, you can go to school, graduate, even get all the degrees that you
Yes.
can acquire. But if you
Yes.
are not licensed, if you are
Yes.
not licensed through the
Yes.
board of nursing, forget, you cannot
Yes.
practice. You cannot
Yes.
work anywhere. And if your
Yes.
license expires, you cannot
You're in
work.
trouble.
Yes, you have to
Yes.
do continuous
You're
education
in trouble.
and renew your license every time it expires. So I definitely
Yes.
relate to what you're saying.
Absolutely,
Thank
absolutely.
you,
You
sis.
you you've
Thank
said
you.
it all. And Pancho, to tell you how exclusive this is, I like to say this because I want to, and I don't say it from a place of bragging. I say it because I want to encourage more people in our community to
Mm.
pursue this certification. Do you know in the US there's just 1% of us that are licensed CPAs that are black? 1% of us.
Yep.
We're about less than 4% that have passed the exam. Less than 1%, about 1% of us are licensed and
The exam is
practicing.
really tough. Can they even
So
make it a little
this
bit
tells
easy?
you, first of all, apart from the exam being tough, sometimes we don't know any better. People don't know, and there's
Eh,
such a
that's true.
demand.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a shortage of CPAs all over. So I try to encourage anyone in our space that is going into account. If you've loved accounting before, please become a CPA. There's such a shortage. And then now you have some people that are CPAs, but they don't even work to help the small business owner. They're working for corporations. So
true.
that
Okay.
means we're barely like this few of us that
Well,
are in the space trying to educate people, trying to help small
wow,
business owners. So I
that's
try
true.
to encourage our people. There is a shortage, and there are a lot of business people. Our people have become, everyone has become informed now, right? I mean,
Exactly.
the
Yeah,
new
yeah.
empowerment
Social
movement is
media
the
and everything.
economic empowerment. People
Yeah,
are starting businesses. People are becoming more millionaires than ever before,
than ever
and people
before.
want to
That's true.
work with someone they can trust that looks like them,
That's
right?
yeah.
So if you have a situation, a glam queen, and then you came to me and we talked about it, I can relate with you because I understand the struggles. You say, if you came at me and say, Lily, we're sorry for your mom's loss, by the way. I said that, but let's say the
Mhm.
mom was here.
Yeah.
You say, Reme don't can Reme the hell more picking. Now, how if you set an up way, if Reme pay, if you write an off for taxes, or how if it impact me tax wise, if I take care of Reme and picking. You see, because I understand your setup, I can
Mhm.
help you structure in a way that benefits you. You see what
Wow.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's that advantage when you meet your own person that is in a space, but we're not many of us, and so there's such a shortage. And then of course the few that are there are doing such fraudulent stuff that it causes other people to not want to go, and then
It's
people will meet us, and then you go and tell people their business, so it also makes it harder. So I try to encourage our people. If you're out there, if you've loved accounting before, this is such a lucrative space to be in as a
wow.
professional. Consider it. Yeah.
That's good. Thank you so much. Thank you, sis. Welcome to all our new people. Cindy, sorry about your network issues. I see you. Onella, welcome. Thank you, sweetheart. Fonka Clarice, thank you. She said she was invited by Pretty Veronique. Thank you so much. Sister Lily, there's one of your, I think your family person is here. For me, Wong Berino. She keeps saying that the land of Saul to the world.
Oh,
Well,
Fomi
yes.
is my brother. That's family right
Okay.
there. He's like the
Okay.
biggest supporter.
Yes.
You guys
He's
need to connect. That's what I have
okay.
to say.
Maglan
He's
Doggies,
based in Dubai.
welcome.
Yes, yes,
And my sister from UK, you know, Lavette. Lavette,
yes,
yeah, Lavette is here too.
yes,
She's saying
yes.
around.
Oh, I'm
Emily
using the
Scott,
StreamYard,
yes,
so I can't see who is on. But yeah, I'm
yes.
watching.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who is watching. We'll just keep going, and then during the show, we'll check the comments and just say hi and welcome to everyone who is here. So, Pancho, carry on.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Doc, for the explanation. Usually they call me Pancho de Camé, so I always refer myself as the ambassador of Cameroonians.
I
Always
love
like
it.
anything that we do, I like to relate it to Cameroonians. And for what you're saying, there was actually a recent study in Cameroon which shows that about 60 to 70% of business die after 2 years of existence. Like after 2 years,
Oh my
they
God,
just
yes.
Yeah.
so like I don't know. Is it Are those services available? Like, is it possible that you work out of the US? Is it available? Is it affordable and available for Cameroonians? Like, is there a way? Is that possible, or is it something you're still working on? Like, how is it?
That's a
How do
good
you
one.
go about that?
That's a good one. So you've touched on two things, okay? So the first thing you touched about struggling businesses. And I want to say anyone listening, it's not just in Cameroon. It's typically across the world, right? Because it's a human problem, and I'm going to address that. And the second one you talked about are services, and I'll come to that. So the thing with a lot of businesses that fail is it's not just about the services or support they can get. It's fundamental issues that have not yet been addressed. There are a lot of people that go into business for the wrong reasons. Number one, for money. Let me tell you, business is extremely difficult.
Very.
If money is your only drive, you will not last. Number two, they did not do something that they necessarily like, they had misinformation. A lot of times you will see someone be in a business and they are struggling, but they can come and lie to you and tell you that it's doing really good. And then you go into that business. So that's misinformation. The third thing is that our people do not research. Again, you see why I said it's a human problem. It's not only in Cameroon. There are a
Yes.
lot of people that do not do research. And the reason is because people are lazy. People are always looking for shortcuts. And then the fourth thing is that people do not want to pay the price. See, Pancho, no matter what you build in this life, there is sacrifice that must be made.
Exactly.
I watch you guys. I was here in your show the other day, and I was so
Yes.
blown away because you guys have been consistent. Nobody's paying you for this. You've been consistent. You keep showing up. You see, you had an appointment. There's Ghost Town, and you're here. You see sacrifice. Do you know how many people can do that? A handful of people. There are not many. The fifth thing is that a lot of people are not humble enough to ask for help and to get a mentorship. If you notice all of these, do you realize it doesn't have anything to do with the professional? It's still on the individual level.
Yes.
When these fundamental things are not yet addressed, whether I come and give you all the best ideas of how to run your business, you
Business,
cannot build a
you
successful
will not
business.
succeed. Yep. Yep. Yep.
You
Yep.
see, there are certain tribes that have been known to build successful businesses, right? You have the Bamilikes in our culture. You have the Igbos in Nigeria. Almost a lot of cultures. You have the Jewish people and all of that. If you go and check their track record, one of their number one thing that rotates in there, first of all, is that there is mentorship. Information is passed down. People are not proud to take mentorship, right? And second of all, people are every if you notice the way they empower the next generation of person taking, they're always challenging them. Have you ever gone to somebody's shop? A lot of time, even when the owner is there, they're in the back. They'll tell the person to go and do all the talking with the client. What are they doing? They're challenging you to do better,
Challenging.
right? And
Yes,
all
I'm
of those things
mentoring
are
you.
pushing
Yeah.
you. So if you think about it, think of our culture in Cameroon where everybody wants to be CEO. Somebody will start a business tomorrow, they've already come and put on their stuff and want to be CEO of this. But you cannot keep a job where you work under someone, where you're guided, where you're led by someone. But you think you can build a team. You think you can have the discipline of showing up for yourself if you couldn't do that for somebody
For
else.
somebody else.
And
That's
so
true.
once these fundamental things are messed up, it's so hard to build a successful business. And Pancho, did you notice I never said money? Because money is not what makes you fail in a business. As a
Wow.
matter of fact, lack of money will help you succeed more than someone who has more resources.
Wow.
Because when you don't have money, your brain goes into work.
A
When
lot of
people
people
have
think
too
that
much
with
money,
business you must have money or you're looking for money, and that's true. That's true.
exactly. So you
Yeah.
see, all the 5 reasons I gave, none of them had to do with money. None of them had to do with the professional. None of them had to do with people like us. Because I don't care how good I am as a professional. If I come to you, Pancho, and you don't yet know what you want to do, you're not doing research, you don't have clarity on what you want to do.
Hey, what happened? Wait, let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Hey,
Ah,
Okay.
that,
no.
Yes.
Oh,
what
So
happened?
I don't know what
You
happened.
disappeared for a minute. I was like,
It seems as if some principalities want to fight us.
let me
So
know face.
you see, that's one end, right? on,
Mm-hmm.
on on one end. And then another big thing is that, just as I said, people don't know. People just need to spend time to ask themselves, why do they even want to go into a business? There are a lot of people that should not be in business. There are a lot of people.
They
There's a
have no
different
business
mindset.
being in business.
Business ownership is a completely different mindset. When I
Yeah.
didn't know better, I used to say everybody should own a business. Now I know better. I tell people, if you have a job that pays you well, that gives you work-life balance where you can be with your family, stay with your job.
Yeah.
And they can help you. They save money for you for your retirement. The reason I say so is because at the end of the day, we're going to leave all of these things, Pancho. You see, family, that's all you have left. And there are a lot of people that have not learned the balance. So they throw themselves and the family is suffering. And then tomorrow, maybe one day they luckily become successful. They don't have family. You understand what I'm saying? There's some,
That's
and then sometimes the stress that comes with it, you end up breaking relationships.
yeah.
There's this mindset for entrepreneurship. That's always what I'm looking for when I'm thinking of someone who wants to become an entrepreneur. It should
Yeah.
not be someone that gets the best professional advice. It's something inner inside of you that
Yeah.
wants to do better. But it's not about making money. It's because you want to improve the lives of people. And that desire to improve the lives of people is so big of a deal to you that even if you're struggling in the first few years, you will continue putting your best foot forward. And what happens here is that you never take your frustration on others because you wear that crown of responsibility with joy, right? Even when it's stressful, I'm not saying you're not going to have tough times,
Of
but
course.
because it's an inside desire to make the lives of people better. It's not something that you so okay. I'll take an example, and I'm going to pick on you, Joy, right? So Joy loves to look good, and I've seen that she also likes to celebrate people. It's only fair that she has a company that sells jewelry and clothing, right? Which I still have to post those my pictures with all the jewelry I bought because
Please, I'm in short, I don't give up on you.
I know, but you see the person that she is. She loves to celebrate people. She has to support people. And you too, Pancho, you have to have a heart for people. Now, tomorrow, if you guys decided to start a PR company that you're charging people for marketing, maybe you already do. You see how aligned it is with who you are? Because your desire initially is to promote people. Now, when you have built a system that works and you can charge people a price for it and you go into business, it doesn't matter the challenge you face at the start because it gives you joy to see people winning. You're
I'm
not going
coming.
to give up
I'm,
like that.
sis, I'm coming to you. You see that thing you just said there? You see
Yes.
that thing you just said there? That is my thought process. I'm
See,
going
look
to.
at that.
I don't already get Pesiwa
So
the
you see
company for
now,
that. When the
Pancho,
time
you just
comes,
confirmed it.
I'm going. This is see. I told Pancho. I
You just
said this
confirmed it.
talk show that we are starting is
Yes.
a continuation of what we have been doing on Glam
Yes.
Media, promoting people.
Yes.
But it's not going to end here. This is something
Yes.
that I plan to take to
Yes.
another level. For
Yes.
now, like you said, we are not charging. Nobody's paying us. Every
Yes.
now and then, somebody will say,
Yes.
"Oh, thank you for promo." They'll give
Yes.
us some money,
Yes.
clothes.
Yes.
They've given us
Yes.
gifts in all forms, like from
Yes.
clothes to
Yes.
shoes to haircut.
Yes.
There was a time Pancho actually had a free haircut just because of
Oh,
yeah,
that's
because
nice.
of promoting
Yes.
people on Glam Media.
That's
So
nice.
thank you so much, sis. There's something
Yes.
that you said that I can relate to. Let me really talk on that real quick before you
Yes.
go to the part of your services, because we're going
Yes.
to ask you about your NPS Act and the services you offer. You
Yes.
said something about if working, doing your 9 to 5 job is working for you and
Yes.
sustaining your family, please go with it. There's a misconception out here. People go around telling people you can be your own boss. You don't
Yes.
have to work for somebody. You can quit your
No.
job.
No.
I hate when people say
Yes.
things like that.
Yes.
Just because it worked for you doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone.
Yes.
There are people that are comfortable with their salary, working for
Yes.
somebody, clocking in and clocking out and taking
Yes.
their money. Nobody is saying that you should not be ambitious.
Mm-mm.
But if you have
exactly.
seen or you think that something that another person is doing, you cannot do it, please stay where you are. Stay
Yes.
where, don't leave your job.
Yes.
And then the funny and the most annoying part is that some people actually believe it to the extent that they quit their jobs with no plan whatsoever of what to do next. Or they get into a business with no plan and then get up and at the end of the day they fail. Meanwhile, they had a good job that was taking care of them and their family. So if you're watching this, I'm begging you, business is not for everybody.
It's not for
Don't listen to
everybody.
people who say you can be your
Yes.
own boss. It is not for everybody. If you can do it, you will do it. But if you
Yes.
cannot, stay where you are, make your money and be peaceful
Yes.
and happy.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, sis.
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes. Oh, and I love that. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
emphasizing that. And
Yes.
you know, I was saying something about business should be something bigger. You can still impact a community without necessarily doing it through business. And it's
Thank you.
important I say that. You can volunteer your time.
Oh, no
You
one be
can donate
serious.
to people that are already doing stuff that you want to do, but you don't have the time and the capacity. So there are ways that you can still have impact, but you don't necessarily have to start a business. You know. Thank you for saying that,
Your
Joyce. I
brother
really
say
love
social
that.
media motivational speakers. Not them. Not them. I swear, you did talk not true. Not them. They come
Yes,
on here and
yes,
tell people wrong things, and those people that are
yes,
so gullible, they
yes,
believe them and
yes,
just follow everything that they
yes.
say.
Yes, no, it's very heartbreaking, and I try to change that narrative because I've seen it. I've seen people throw everything away. You can imagine. I'm the CPA here, so I'm dealing with all kinds of situations all the time, and I see people that had threw everything away because they wanted to pursue this dream because they thought it was for them, and then the amount of stress it put on them and their family members. Like you said, a lot of them don't even have the plan, right? The
Exactly.
amount of stress it put on them and their family members was such that it will probably take them years to heal from that and to
Exactly.
recover. Was it worth it? When you ask yourself that. And then another thing too, Joy, and I have to say this because someone might be listening to us thinking we're killing entrepreneurship. No, I would never.
No,
I'm obsessed with entrepreneurship, but I also like to remind people that we go through seasons. You also need to know the season you're in, so you don't go and start something in a time when you don't have the capacity for it. It could be
exactly.
financial capacity, it could be time capacity, it could be a people capacity,
Mental,
it
even
could be
mental,
mental
your
capacity.
mental capacity. Yeah.
So you might still have a good idea, but you're in a stage where maybe your spouse is going back to school. You guys have two little kids. You don't want to go and start now a new business and start something that will be stressing the entire family. There's no money coming in. You have two little kids. You have a spouse going back to school, or your spouse is trying to go through a promotion, but then you're standing in the way because you need them to stay with the kids or help you with this in your business, and you start to resent them for not supporting you.
Okay.
What
No.
meanwhile was just a thing of seasons, of the
Thank you,
wrong
sister.
timing. So
Thank
it's
you.
also important for people to keep that in mind. You can
Thank you
plan,
very
but do
much.
it at the right time. And I
Thank
wanted to say one last thing before we go to services. Pancho,
you.
remember what I said? Nothing had to do with professionals. Did you realize when Queen just identified what I said and said she's been thinking about it? If she came to me now, we can have a powerful when she comes to me, we're going to have a good conversation because she knows what she wants already. It's aligned with where she's going. There's clarity. She's been doing this. You guys have been doing it. It means you guys have done a lot of learning in the process. You already know as you're going, you can already target your niche market. You can already see who
Yes.
you want to
Yes.
serve. You can already identify people you will not bring to your platform. That means if she comes now to me for us to talk business, we have a lot of information to put together to help her craft a company that will sustain itself, right, while pursuing her dreams. So you see how what I was just saying, and she confirmed it right now. Starting a business, sustaining a business has nothing to do with professionals. Everything. Some professionals will even screw up in setting up your business.
Yes.
People make mistakes, but that can be fixed. It's the fundamental things that need to be in place before you go to a professional.
That's
So
true. Yes.
now
Thank you.
let's go to the
Thank you so much.
services,
Wait,
right?
before we go there, I beg real quick, let me there's one of our special I don't even know, Skizzy. He's been here, he's been a
Oh,
guest
hey,
on us.
Kizzy.
I
Yes,
mean
yes,
he's
yes.
he's
And
an
happy
artist.
birthday.
He's an artist, a celebrity, you would think. So I mean, that's why I get all this. These are the things that make me like motivate me to keep going, because that's somebody that can easily say, Glam Queen Afe Uno. I don't already go to the talk show. I don't have to go there again. But he's been coming back ever since he came here and this is show. He's been coming back and watching other people's show. Ben a celebrity, if you sit up for yourself, say, I beg, I don't need na me, I be star, I don't need
Yes,
all these things.
yes,
And that's what we've been saying in this our own industry, is that all of us are struggling to grow. We
yes,
know that some people are higher up there, you have your thing that you work for. But sometimes when you receive support from such people that are up there, it motivates you and it makes you know that, okay, at least I'm being seen, something that I'm doing, somebody is acknowledging it, somebody is thinking that this thing is right.
absolutely,
So for me
absolutely.
to come in here, light my camera, and I'm talking, and I see a celebrity on my show, I mean, It's too much for me. It's too much. And Pancho knows me. I get all excited. In fact, my guest, you know me, and you see, no. I don't know how to hide my joy. I don't know how.
Yes,
I'm very
we do.
expressive with my feelings. If I'm angry, I'll tell you. Pancho can testify. If I'm happy, I'll let you know. If I'm sad, you will know. So for me, just sitting here and seeing a celebrity in our industry watching my show is a big deal. Thank you, Skizzy. Thank you so much for your contributions. He says hi to Lily and he
Yes.
says hi
Hey,
to Pancho.
Skizzy.
Thank you.
That
Maglam
is
Doggies is here.
superstar.
That's a blogger. He's here. I mean, our colleagues are watching us. Today is a good day, sis. You came with
We thank
a
God.
lot of
Hey, hey.
a lot of people are watching us today, so I'm really excited. Thank you all so much. Please keep pumping hearts for our good doctor. Thank you. Okay, sis, go
Thank
ahead.
you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I'll go back to the services you were asking. So I have to say one thing, Patrick. So every service that a person who goes into business requires different types of services. Okay, there are certain services that need to be provided by someone who is local. Like if you have to set a business up, you need someone who is local to file your paperwork, things like that. Now, if you are back home and you wanted to set a business up in the US, I can assist with that. A business or a non-profit, I can assist with all of that for you because of where I'm at. Now, if you're a business person back home that wants to scale or is thinking about going into a partnership or needs some kind of consulting or to understand how to break into a certain market, I can provide that kind of consulting, right? We have people that get funding from the US that need their books to get reviewed. I can provide that kind of service. So it just depends on what the service is. Things like registering a business or a nonprofit back home, we don't have that capacity. But if something you want to register here, you need consulting. Yes, we do. We were actually planning to set up the ARC in Cameroon. 2020 or 21.
Seriously?
My friend John is not here, but a lot of things didn't go as planned, COVID and everything. So we kind of left that on the side. But what we really wanted to do, and it's still my prayer, and I want to put it out there so you guys keep me in prayer for that, was the way we wanted to work it out was to set up the ARC in all the areas that are being impacted by everything that's been happening in Ambazonia. And our goal was that once everything starts to settle down, we can create a trust system where we help the businesses back home to build a system of accountability where they know how to track their income and their expenses so that people who are out here who want to support the businesses to rebuild and create opportunities will be able to do that, because anyone could invest if they know that they're going to get a return on their investment, or at least they know that they can trust what you will do with the money. Unfortunately, things have gotten worse, but it's our prayer. It's really, I mean, the people who are close to me know that that's one of my end goals, to really go back home, help our businesses rebuild by structuring them in a way that they can attract and receive funding from people who are no longer in Cameroon but want to help rebuilding English speaking Cameroon. Yes.
Thank you very much, sis. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my God, I'm overwhelmed already because at this point, at this juncture, hmm, I'm
I
learning
think
so much from Glam Media Talk Show that I'm like,
Uh,
did I do the show for me or for everybody else? Because at the end of the day, I feel like an audience. Like I'm learning.
oh,
I have a see. This is my book. I have a book that I write down stuff that I learn on the show. You
love
won't
it.
believe it, but
I
some
love it.
from time to time when you're talking and I'm doing that, no, I'm writing things. So because
I
I'm
love
learning on
it.
the show, I
I
won't lie to
love
you.
it.
I'm learning.
I
Much
love it.
better.
I love it. I love
Yes,
it.
thank you so much, Pancho. Right, are you done with your section? Let me go to mine.
yeah, I'm almost done.
All
Okay.
And
right.
I must admit, Doc has like so much knowledge with this. I think if they send you to Cameroon, there's a lot you are going to fix, like
Oh my
because
God.
there
Real.
are things that are running here, and I don't think they even know about taxes or they pay taxes or they even know if there's something that they
I
have to
knew about
do.
taxes when I came to America.
Yes.
Like
We
people
did
are
not
just
even know.
focused on one thing,
Yes.
they just run a business. So, like the services that you said you are offering, the name of the company, because when I saw ARC, I was like, it's
Oh
a
yes.
Noah.
Noah Act.
So, like,
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
don't
Oh, good.
understand.
So yeah. Let
Is it the ARC NPS that like that's the name of the company?
Yeah, so let me go on that, and it's so good that I give some background information on that. Okay,
Mhm.
so our company is called the ARC NPS. So when we started the company, I initially just wanted to work with nonprofits. Okay, so back then I felt like nonprofits were struggling to get high-end CPA services to support what they were building, and even though when people think nonprofits, they think, oh, you're not supposed to make money. That's not true. You're trying to provide a service to the community, sometimes free, right? And you have people that can support you in doing that by donating money to you. But in order for you to successfully do that, you also need a system. You need structure. If you want to provide high-end services, you need to also hire high-end people. So I felt like nonprofits were being left behind because they were not able to find CPAs that were good enough to be able to consult with them, help them set up right, help them make sure their books are in order, they have monthly accounting going on, their taxes are filed on time. So when I started, the idea was to serve nonprofits. Okay. Now, if you go to most nonprofits, people that serve on the board of a nonprofit are business owners, true or false.
True.
And when I will go and I will do a training, all of them will come to me and say, oh, no, 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 we need you. Our business needs you. So if you notice, initially our name was the Art Nonprofit Solutions, and then we had we had to
Something to
change it to the
NPS.
Art Now Providing Solutions, which is the Art NPS. Okay.
Okay, okay.
And so that was how we started serving business owners. And now we probably serve 80% businesses, or almost 85% businesses, and only 15% nonprofits,
Yes.
because I realized that the need was across the board, but it was even worse in the business world. And what has made us to stand out, I'll tell you, Pancho, is the excellence that we bring to what we do. And excellence does not mean that we don't make mistakes. But even if we did, we take ownership. We're very communicative. I've had situations where I've made mistakes. One thing I would do, I'll call a client and I said, hey, this is the mistake I've made. I'm taking responsibility. This is what has to be done. Now, those are rare situations. For the most part, we operate in so much excellence where I wasn't on social media until like 2020. But guess what?
Yeah.
We grew by word of mouth. I'm talking about referral, because
Wow.
every time someone worked with us, they brought us a client. They were like, wait, I've never seen a CPA who is this good at what they do, and yet they are very empathetic, which is a big deal. When people come to us generally, they are coming to us because someone has dealt with them, right? And then you meet someone who has the knowledge, yet they are empathetic. They understand, they are willing to work with you and meet you where you're at. And I think that really helped to open up just a host of clientele. And and one of the things that I keep doing is making sure that I never stop learning, and everyone on my team. And I think our people usually struggle to work with us, but those that work with me especially is because they can vouch for not just the excellence I bring, but the
Excellent
fact that I
service.
continue to educate myself and how big I am on educating other people.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, they can trust. So you hardly see the person that wants to play around come to me.
My
They
goodness.
already know they will not do it,
Yes.
because I'm very intentional. But anyone who is looking for a person that is good at what they do, that is going to work in integrity, work with excellence, will be committed to showing up, they will come to me and they will not even bother, because they know how the heart that I have for what I do. So yeah, so that's the company name. That was how we started, and then now we serve everybody, but mostly business owners.
Thank you
Yes.
so much, sis. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Pancho. Thank you. You don't die. You don't do so you don't die. I'll put Pancho on the spot here. I want to use this as a teaching moment to everybody that is watching this show. When we go through the guests, like what we're going to do on the show, we usually come up with the questions that we're going to ask the guests, right? I'm
Yeah.
going to report Pancho to the audience. Every time I send Pancho questions, he will never ask the questions that I send. He will ask the questions that he wants, and when he's talking to the person, and then he will improvise. So I told him about you, and he said, you haven't sent me a list of questions. I said, guess what, honey? I'm not sending you any list of questions today. You figure it out on your own. Oh,
Yes.
but you know that I'm not very good with financial stuff. I say, you are going to figure it out. I am talking to you now. Today, I was very mad at him. I said, today, I am telling you as your boss. This is the first time I spoke to him like that. I said, today, I am telling you as your boss that you will come up with the questions that you will ask Dr. Lilly. If
Yes.
you want to come and mess up, then that's your business.
That's
And
on you.
you know what do I find, sis? Now, me, I
See,
take it.
I'm
Then,
so
Be in front of
impressed, by
you.
the way. So impressed.
then,
And please let
Sometimes
me just give
people,
a shout out to Edith. Edith Delight is here. That's my girl. That's my sister. Dr. Joybert is here. See, that's my family. me right there. Okay,
Oh
these
my
two people. I
goodness.
haven't seen everybody else, but I see these two people.
Thank you. Oh my
Just
goodness.
forces,
See,
forces.
thank you.
I greet you guys, Dr.
Um,
Edith, Dr. Joybird.
I
Some of
mean,
my favorite people.
Dr.
Thank you
Jerved
guys
is
for
one
being
person
here.
that always comes to our show. So Dr.
Yes,
Jerved is our constant person. We love you,
he's
Dr. Jerved.
amazing. Yes,
Dr. Edith, they like, thank you so much for showing up today because
yes.
honestly, I've been wanting to bring her on the show, but I'm like, who do I talk to? Where do I go?
See, this
Because
is your connection. It's your plug.
sister, that means the connections that I've made through you, even for me, I talk for Stella Damascus for phone because of Lilly. I mean,
Oh,
it's just that she's your bestie. Us, I swear, I will steal you from her. You are too much. Thank you so much to everybody. There's somebody here, Kinyoy. I think that's your person. He's somebody. Let me see that person again. Somebody. I know it's your person because of the name. Na so person.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, Bernadette. Hey,
yes,
Ben. Oh, Ben is
Bernadette
incredible.
Kinyoy. Then
Yeah.
there's Gay, Bodwin Nong. Those are people
Oh
that
my
I've not
God,
seen before,
Solange
so
is
I know that they are
here.
your
You
people.
can be anything podcast. Solange is here. So
Yeah.
I see you. That's my girl.
Hey,
Oh my God.
Mama, sis, you don't bring me the whole Facebook. Let me say,
We're not
please,
playing
family,
today.
don't leave us. So don't just come because of doctor and leave us when she's not here. Please, you guys should keep coming back. Please keep coming back. Thank you so much. Special thanks to everybody. Dr. Delight, I'm going to come and look for you. You will come
Yes.
to our show because she
She's a
does
force.
so much for the community. I'm actually overwhelmed by all that. I cannot even follow up. She's too much. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me take the time and figure out how to get to her.
She's a
Because
force.
it's
She's
too
a
much. Yes.
force.
So thank you
Yes,
so much.
yes.
Thank you.
She's a
Thank you so
force.
much, Dr. Delight.
Yes.
Thank you for joining. Giselle Diamond, I
um,
see you. Giselle, I see you. Welcome, sweetheart. Thank you so much for joining. All right, Pancho, are you done?
yeah, I just I wanted
Okay,
to
now
say like,
you don't suit you now. You know I finish.
wait now, Matt, I just wanted to say like, thank you for giving me that responsibility. When someone gives you responsibility, you are forced to work. You have to go and do research. So most times I complain because what I know is mostly I like to talk about music a lot. So when you tell me like we are about to go into this other domain that I'm not used to, especially money issues, really me and the first money we touch now. So like I was like, you mama take me go outside, let's not go and call figures there. So like I was afraid, but then I had to go back again and do research, and I even noticed that Doc is also an author. Like she also has a book, which I'm not even going to talk about. I even went through. You don't even know what I did for this.
Yes.
I'll just let you do the rest. No.
I beg,
Don't worry.
Oh,
what are you trying to say? Is that a thank you? I mean, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm giving you a flowers.
love it. Love it.
Anytime, boss, I'm not good with this topic now. I'm not good. You will be good. You will learn on this show. You will learn and you'll be good. Me, I'm not
I'm
good with
your
music, but I learned so much
I'm
from
your
him.
humble, I'm your
I'm
humble
not good with
student.
music. Yeah.
That's good.
I'm
Love
not good
it.
with music, but he is good with music. I learned so much from him. But every time we have an artist, I don't stay quiet. I ask questions. I go, and because I know that even if I don't know the stuff, Pancho will teach me. So why not go learn my own thing then? Thank you
Who
so
mean you?
much, Pancho. All right, okay, let's go now to the main events of the day. Since you have a copy of the book, you send me the one I have is digital. Please,
Yes.
if you have
Oh,
a copy,
snap. I do. Hold on.
yes, please. If you have a copy of the book, just hold it onto the screen. Let me talk about it. Then we'll
I
ask you
do. I
questions
have it
from.
somewhere. I have it somewhere here. One sec.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
all right. Oh,
There you go.
those are my
There
parents.
you go.
By the way, can you see?
Yes, bring it closer. We'll talk about all of that.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I dropped my phone. It's right here. I got excited with their picture. So yes, here they are. And
Okay.
then here, of course, here
All
is
right.
the
So
book.
let me start. Let me start because.
Glam,
Mhm.
please, I just want to ask Doc, do you I like I've been seeing the Mbinglo like and I kind of know this name. Like this Mbinglo is a popular name in Cameroon,
Yes.
especially from the northwest. I don't know, is it either it's a reverend or something, but there's a Mbinglo. I don't know if you are connected to the family, but then I just know that that name is more in
Yeah.
the country.
No, you're right on it. You're right on it. It's the royal family of Saw, and I'm I'm part of the
Okay.
family. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's only fair. You can call me princess too.
Woo!
Just, but I want you to
Very proud.
understand too many
African
times you done it
princess.
for
Yeah,
me.
you want.
You know,
That
let me,
princess. That princess. So I
otherwise the
like that.
screen will not have any place, any
Yes.
space for me.
Sister, let me tell you something. Let me talk about this your book.
Yes.
When you sent me this, you remember yesterday we had a conversation about how the show is going to be, and then you said I'll send you my book so that you can read it ahead of the show and see. Since from the time you sent that book, I was preparing to go for that my event at night. I told you we had our uniform launch, so maybe I'll not even have time to read the book, but still send it and I'll see. I came back from that event at 4 a.m. Okay. I posted on Facebook about our show. I was like, okay, let me sleep. I've set my alarm for noon. Let me sleep and then wake up, because I know that 2 p.m. That's 2 hours. All I have to do is take a shower and get dressed. I'm sleeping. I cannot sleep. I'm sleeping. 9 a.m. My eyes open. Bam. I'm like, I have a lot of things to do today. There's book that I have to read. There's this I have to do before the show. Sister, I took that book. I was laying on my bed around 9:30 a.m. this morning, right? I started reading the book. At first, I told Pancho, I just wanted to browse through and see what the book was about, because sometimes I don't have time to read. Not because I don't like reading. I actually like school, I like book, but sometimes with everything else that's going on, I have 2 kids, it's too much, Sometimes I don't have time to sit down and read. So I said, let me just browse through. At least I have an idea of what the book is about. I opened chapter 1. Not even chapter 1, self preface, or now they call that in surface, that first part. Only love story for repeat them. Hey!
Preface for that book now.
I said, love story for repeat them. I said, Papa, what? Now me that, before I want to know, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, I want to see 11, 15, the end. Sister, I've never read a book that fast in my life. And if I tell you that, I told Pancho this morning that I know if I talk that story for your book, the officer and me and you writer, Pancho say, hey, whoa.
I love it.
Because sis, that book now, as you write that book now, as I was reading that book, I felt like you were talking to me. I felt like you were telling my story. Your mom and my mom, it feels like they were born by the same mom. Sister, I don't know as I feel explain. I relate for that book so that I enter inside the story. I'll be part of your family.
Yes.
My goodness, 2 hours, 15 minutes, I'll finish that book on top of my bed. Before I want to know, they said the end. I say, hey, the end how? I go back, the end how? I don't understand. Then the next thing, their sister, their brother, their own story there about their experience with mommy and everything. So I was like, wow, this is amazing, sis. I cannot even tell you how much I cried reading your book. There was a time when I paused. I actually was like, oh my God, man, I know if it continue. But I remember I said the story sweet, I said I must continue. I come back, I continue. So since that book now, I short, thank you for it. Thank you. Thank you for that book. Because as I was reading it, I was thinking about my mom, like you said earlier, she just passed away in 2021. So everything you said in that book was for me, like it brought me back to my mom and everything that she also went through, almost similar to your mom's story. So before we go into the chapters, for those who haven't read the book, because the book is out now, just tell us how much it costs, where they can get it, and stuff like that, and then we'll go into the chapters.
Oh my God, thank you. You already got me. I'm going to calm down. So the book can be found on Amazon. It's called The Fabric of Ochiro, and these are business tips from Ochiro who did it all. It's on Amazon. The paper copy is $29.99. The hard copy is $34.99. And guys, this will be worth every minute of your time. I promise you. But I'll let you go on so we can flow together. But
See, first of all, I was very angry when you sent me I was happy when you sent me the book, but in my mind, I like to support people. So I already planned that I was going to buy my own copy of the book. So you sending it to me free just was like, oh my God. Okay, I'm going to figure out another way to support her, which is why I told you to bring the stuff that I told you to bring. So I'll get to it later. But for now, let's start with your parents' love story. And how they met, and the unique thing that they did for each other, which I really want to say it so bad, but the way they started their day, let me put it that way, so that you can give audience, because what I want you to do is just give us a brief about each of you. What I'll do, I'll pick a topic from the book or a chapter that I like, that I enjoy reading, that I can relate to, and then I'll talk to you about it. Then you give us just a snippet of it, so that people that are here watching can be motivated to go and grab the book, to go and get the book. Yes, not everything. Don't give out everything.
No, we
Just
can't give out everything yet.
Yes, then I will tell you how I relate to that particular incident, and then we'll keep it going. So the first thing that I want you to tell us is just how your parents started their day. That one is very interesting. Then they can go and read the rest. Yes.
Just one little second. I just want to appreciate the fact that she played with the hero and then put a shiro. You know, I don't know. I've never heard that word before. I don't know if it's just a word play or something, but that was genius to have a hero, to have a shiro instead of a hero. And apart from the fact that she dedicated this book to her parents, she also did it for all the women. Like the book is dedicated to all women everywhere. So
Exactly.
every woman needs to have this book. Dog.
Go ahead.
So I have to say, one thing, Glam Queen, you know, I'm always tempted to call you Joyce. I have to remember that. I don't know if people know you as
No,
know
please
your
call it
personal
all
name or
my
not,
name.
because you know we're on media, and so
Yes.
let me stick with Glam Queen so that everyone will remember. But you know, there was something that my parents shared. It was the love that they shared. I think that was the most beautiful thing growing and watching my parents. These two people were so in love with each other. We never grew up in a home where a child was more important. They loved each other to the point where you could never, I never saw my parents exchange words or disagree in front of us. It's not that they didn't, they ended in their bedroom, I'm sure. We never saw that. And you asked about the practice that they had. This was what they used to do in the morning, okay? So I don't go into too much. When my parents would wake up in the morning, you guys, they will not look at anybody. I'm saying that if my father wakes up and you're out here, he'll cover his eyes like that. He'll hold his wife behind him. They'll walk outside, and then they'll look into each other's eyes and say Irania. Irani in Lamson means good morning. I kid you not, my entire life. My parents will not look at anybody. No, my father will not see anybody. My mother will not see. They will hold each other. Then they'll be touching the wall and going outside. When they reach outside, then they'll say Irania. That means good morning. After that, they can talk to the other people.
It's funny.
They really believe that, you know, they brought love to each other, and the love that they shared, they made it a point to start their day with each other. And it was not enough that they started in their bedroom. No, they came outside to make sure that the first person they saw outside of the house was each other. And so they left each other every day full of love. That was my entire life.
Wow.
Any guest that stayed in our house will tell you, our cousins, anybody that stayed in our house, if one thing they remember about my parents was that my father or my mom will not say good morning to anybody until they say good morning to each other. So they left the house already full of love. Can you imagine what it was like interacting with them?
No, sis, that's so cute. That actually caught. That's why I said when I started reading the book, that love story just caught me, because for me, African parents, first of all, we never saw a lot of display of affection when we're growing up. So to have African parents that can actually demonstrate that kind of thing in front of their kids, it's a whole new level. So I was so taken by that. And then also one thing that I loved about your parents' love story is the fact that your dad, he got to an age where people were telling him that he's already late to get married and stuff. Then he didn't rush. Nobody rushed him until he met the one that he loved, and then he married her and stayed with her until, may their soul rest in peace, they parted ways. But I just love the fact that he did not fall for societal pressure. He took his time and met the love of his life. Yes, and that's one thing that our society today, people are under a lot of pressure to do things just because their friend or their brother or their sister has done it. So they want to get married, they want to do business, they want to do everything. No. So thank you so much for that, sis. That was a good way to open up the book, because honestly, that was the story that kept me going. In my mind, I was like, let me just browse, but the story was really nice. So like Pancho said, you talked about a shiro. The title of the book is a shiro. When I saw that book, right, the first thing that came to my mind was, I thought you were talking about yourself. Like that was a story about you. I was shocked when I started reading it and I realized that it was about your mom. The whole book was dedicated to your parents, their love about your mom, especially your mom and everything that she went through. And then I was like, wow, this doctor no easy. She took this book, she made us think that it was about her, but meanwhile, it was about the things that she learned from her mom. And now she's using those things to educate other women on how to go about life from a business perspective, from a family perspective, from a love relationship perspective. I'm like, you took one person's story, your mom, and you divided it into different sectors that everybody that reads that book can pick up something. The men can pick up something from your dad, the women can pick up something from your mom, the children, you have a place there for kids. I mean, it's a whole package. Yes, it's a whole package. So please, anybody who is watching this show, if you love us so as you've been showing us love, please help us so, support sister, support doctor. Please buy this book. Don't disgrace us. Please buy this book. If you can, in Cameroon you want to, we have digital copies, we have hard copies. If you are in America, you can order from Amazon. If you're in Cameroon, you can send money to Pancho, who will get you a soft copy and send it to you so that you can read it.
We actually have copies. We'll be having we're working with a printing company right now in Cameroon, and so we'll be having physical copies available soon in Cameroon.
Wow, thank you so much.
So because there might be a tour in Cameroon as well. And Joyce, I wanted to say something. It's so important that I say this. So when I did this book, you know, and sales are great. I think sales are so good, but I also want to let people know that in honoring my mom, I wanted to take it all the way to the end. And my mom was such a giver. So all the proceeds of this book will be going to two groups of people. One will be going to an orphanage in Douala, where I already took over 12 kids that I've been sponsoring through my foundation, the Lilly Mbinglo Foundation. I've already been doing that. And we'll be sending the proceeds to her foundation. And then the second part will be going to someone who has an amazing program where she trains little kids, young people, how to embroider. And so we're going to be sponsoring 30 of the kids this summer. They're all in Bamenda, so that they can, you know, when I talked to her and I heard her heart, and mind you, this is not even someone I knew, I met her on Facebook, and I heard her heart and I heard my mother's heart. She's gone through a fair share herself, but she said her mother taught her how to embroider. Because of the war and everything, she had to run away from Seoul and move to Bamenda. But she didn't stop in trying to make a living. Every third term holiday, she's training all these kids. Some of them cannot even afford, and she's training them how to do marking. You know the Cameroon marking?
Yes, Cameroon marking. Yeah,
she does that, and so part of the process will go towards sponsoring. I'm really doing that, going to do that through my foundation. Part of the process will be doing that. So I want to let everyone who gets this book to know that first, I would love for you to read it, because I think it speaks to every one of us.
Everyone.
To you. This is like Joyce said, I made it intentionally that way, where it could be a good, quick read, but something that lives with you. You're not going to be the same when you go through this book. I can promise you that. But also know that everything that you spend towards it is going to go for a good cause, because this is what my mother would have loved, and I really want her legacy to go through all the way. Yes.
Thank you, sis. Thank you so much. That is so beautiful. Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Please pump hearts. Lots and lots of hearts for our sister, and also reach out to us if you want to have a copy of the book. Thank you so much, sis. We have it in digital form, we have it in hard copy, and like you said, it will be coming to Cameroon, and all the proceeds will be going to help people that, you know, have small businesses and also orphanage. So please, you guys, help us support her, help us support this book, because supporting her is also supporting other people, and that's also empowering all the women, the children that are going to be learning the embroidery. So please help us support her. So the next part of the book now that I related to and that made me excited to continue reading was when you talked about who is a shiro, the points you gave about the shiro. Let me tell you my own part that I resonated with. There were 2 points that I resonated with there. The part that you talked about, a shiro is somebody. And for your information, I'm just telling you these things from off the top of my head, because that book is in my brain.
Wow.
So you can say whatever I want to say. But the book is in my brain. Let me tell you, that's how much I read it this morning. So you talked about a shiro is somebody that fixes another woman's crown. That is what we have been fighting for. I'm praying, I'm begging. A shiro is somebody that is not afraid to let other people shine. My dear sister, thank you. I don't talk and tire. Women, we have to learn how to fix other people's crown. Just because say sister Lilly, they do fine, you know me say me too, I know go do fine. When it's my turn, I go clap for you when it's your turn. it's my turn, I will be fine. So I don't understand why we always fight. I always tell people that the reason why we as women especially, we come back and forth and fight with each other is because we have not understood that there's enough room for everybody to shine. You have your grace. What you have is what God gave you. What I have is what God gave me. We can still be doing the same thing, but in different ways, and we'll still shine the same. You will shine in your own side. I will shine in my own side. Even if I have to share my shine with you, I do not mind. I don't mind sharing the stage with another woman. But we do not, women. Ugh. Oh, sis, please speak on it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's as if you're preaching right now. Okay, I want to run out of here and come back.
I want to cry.
That is so important. You know, I was on a was I with I think with Uncle Bea. Was it him? I think it was either him or somebody else that was asking me and said, "What do I think is the challenge right now for women that succeeded before, and what is different for now?" And I said, "It's community, because what become it has to be me. It's me generation. It's me. Just going back to support what you said, right? A lot of women are forgetting that when we work together, we're so much stronger. There are no two people that are the same. There are no two people that God gifted the same. There are no two people that can do the same thing the same. Which means each and every one of us is an embodiment of gifts, of talents, of all kinds of expressions of God's amazing art of creating all of us, that you should not even have a reason to envy someone. And so what happens a lot of times is when we do not know who we are, we constantly our insecurity forces us to want to be in this bubble of our imagining our own individual importance. But it should never be like that. We're meant to be interdependent. We're meant to exist and coexist together. We're meant to work together. If God Himself is three in one, and without being too religious, but let's think about it. You know, like we can sit here and I can talk numbers all day, right? It's something that I live and breathe. But the truth is, if you told me to make a Kwakoko Bible, I could never do it. Do you understand? But I love to eat it.
Yes.
So now, if I go and meet somebody who is so good at making Kwakoko Bible, instead of me supporting her and even ordering from her, I'm telling her, oh, because she doesn't know her numbers, she's not as important. Do you see where we have a problem? But that person is probably feeding a neighborhood in ways that I'll never do. You understand?
Yeah.
And because I'm not understanding that I'm good in what I'm doing and I should stay in my lane and continue to empower people in my lane, and then work together with the person who is making that Kwakoko Bible. So not only do we eat together, but we cater to the greater good of so many more.
And you help her with her numbers.
Now that community that we could build, you know, because I'm only thinking about my own importance.
Yourself.
But a lot of times that overinflated importance is coming from insecurity. So it's really my prayer that this generation of women, and this is all of us, we start to recognize who we are. We start to recognize why God created us. Above all, to recognize what makes us unique, what makes us different, and how we can work with other women to build a stronger community to empower even more of the younger generation.
Exactly.
And
Thank
to
you.
Get there is always going to be a struggle.
Yes,
it was very important to remind them of who she is. Yeah.
Thank you, sis. Thank you so much. Please go get the book. Somebody in Cameroon just asked how much does it cost if we're going to get it in Cameroon. So how much is the price here in America? Then Pancho will help us to convert it back.
So I think we're gonna convert it. Here is $29.99, and I don't know.
Okay, so
I'm waiting for us to finalize with the printing company. Because for me, I always think of in terms of covering cost and all of that. Because it has to be fair, and
exactly.
Maybe in the US it might be a little more pricey to print. So for that reason, it would cost a bit different compared to Cameroon if we have a better deal. So I'm waiting for them to finalize. So you guys just give us maybe a week or less, even less. We'll get the information out to Glam Media so they can share.
Okay,
but thank you for everyone who is asking. It's gonna be in Jolly Books, by the way. Jolly Life Books, by the way. They're going to be carrying it, so you'll be able to purchase the book.
Sister.
Edith, you and I have to talk. I'm so glad you just asked the question. I just started seeing the comments.
She just asked about
Edith, we have to talk. I was actually supposed to send you a message on that.
Yes, thank you, sis. Pancho, Kumishalom, welcome. You want come Pancho don't already do his own work. I believe Pancho. Say Pancho is always serious. Pancho already do his own part, so they finish it. Do they don't have our own part? I beg, leave we. Now Pancho, if people and I they ever come, because can't watch their boo. function as na community boo. So,
Oh, that's awesome. Community boo. You know, be small responsibility. That's
I say crushes. So one day we come, the whole time on the patch is cute. Party they just distract all man. In a live we more watch, more talk any tone talk. If he come here, not to bam show the end because he just take over. Hot in a punch.
oh,
Nash.
I love it.
Okay,
I
thank
love
you
it.
so much, Steve. Thank you. So people who haven't, people in Cameroon, so, please just give her some time. She'll give us the information. I will post about it. I know me, no, I'm always posting stuff random for every day. I will drop it in this comment section after the show, and then I'll also make a post about it. And so thank you so much. So that's the first part. There's a lot of points about who Ishiro is. Those were just the two that stuck with me, and I said I will mention it.
So glad.
And then now we're gonna go into the book, and then the first part of the book was talking about your mom, her career, how she was a seamstress. She had a store, she had a shop in the market. My mom did that too. All my life, my mom. Now, whether I like Nyangas or I like dressing up, come on, me being a
Yes,
tailor. I've been
yes.
a model from small. So
Oh,
that's why I tell you that I can relate, because my mom had a shop in the market. Everything, she had apprentices, everything that you were talking about your mom and the businesses.
wow. I love it.
So
Oh, I love it.
yes, that's why I could relate to it, because it just brought back memories of my mom and everything. That the only mistake that I made, I don't know if you can sew. The only mistake I made is I did not learn how to sew.
No, that's one of my own regrets too. I never did.
I
My
never
sister,
did,
my
and I
sister
regret it.
does.
I
But my
regret it.
sister is busy being millionaire to sew clothes now. But my sister, we actually have clothes that my sister made for us. My
Yeah,
sister, she was the only one that spent time with my mom a lot of time after she graduated. So
yes.
my sister has the gift, let me say so. And then she,
Okay.
with my mom, she learned
Yeah,
a lot. But
I
I
never
never did. I
learned.
wish I did.
Yeah,
I
me too.
really wish I did.
I be going to I want go to university, UPA. After high school, I say if I not go university, I go die. Well, I forgot lend me my handwork now, so I've been a big designer, big one, so massive
See,
one. But as I want go to university,
it's
go learn.
okay.
Anyway, I still education is never wasted, so I still
Never,
learned.
never
And
wasted. I
yeah,
love
so
it.
I still
Never
use what I
wasted.
learned in UB today.
Yes.
So I will learn how to sew by God's grace sometime. Maybe
Amen.
I'll learn how to sew. Oh,
Amen.
thank you, John Eta. Thank you so
John
much.
Eta is
John Eta
here.
is
I
there. I
didn't mention him
beg.
earlier if you don't count.
John Eta, I beg. I don't see so your post the other day. I write you down. You did for my list for guests there. So you are going to come
Ooh,
here
yes.
and tell
Yes.
us about all the amazing things you do. Papa was star
See
girl.
John Eta.
Papa was
He
star
will be.
girl. You're going to come. That's Otang's dad. So Otang is an artist, a rapper, our Napancho people in that. So he will come too for this show. So I'm very excited. So thank you, Sister Lily. Okay, so we talk about the chapters, right? See, let's just I think we'll just go into it real quick. I'll just kind of like, I really had it planned of how I wanted to ask, but because of time, we'll just go, talk about it very briefly. So there was a chapter you talked about. The first part of the book, like I said, was about your mom's business, and then you kind of used her experience to educate other I wanted to say women, but men can do the same thing, like all those things that
Absolutely.
you wrote in that book, men can relate to. So you use your mom's experience and all the things that she did and how she started her business and everything that she did. You used it to educate people about different steps of setting up a business, what they need to do. So can you just give us a brief about that, just 2 or 3 points, and then we'll go into the other chapters.
Yes. So, and thank you for that. Thank you for bringing that up. So, one of the things that I didn't do in this book, and I was very careful, was not to get too technical, because I can be a very technical person. So, things as far as like the process of the legal part of getting the business registered, that was not what I talked about. But I was helping people to apply the things that she did, as far as getting mentorship, for example, right? Understanding where she was as a family person. My mom didn't wake up and start a business. She had kids. So at a certain season, that was not what was going to be best. And then because of my dad's job, they traveled. So they couldn't even build a community, and they were not stable. So one of the things I was really trying to point out was, the first thing is start with what you have and start where you are. You might not have it perfectly, right? My mom did not, she had to drop out of school to take care of her siblings. She could have used that as an excuse, but that was never an excuse. She started right where she was. And one thing, if since you read through the book, you would notice I pointed out that because she also understood her seasons, in the seasons of learning, not only did she learn from someone, but she also worked with other people. And
But
that is
that's
usually very
exactly.
important, because I
Yeah.
feel that sometimes people have that drive to want to go and be my own boss, that they forget that it's so hard to build and sustain something where if you do not take the time to learn from people that have been in the game and been doing it, you're going to not only repeat probably mistakes that they could have saved you from, making, because they did it already, but you're going to waste time, you're going to waste resources. So my
Yeah.
very first thing was start where you are. Once you have made up your mind, this is what I want to do, I want you to go ahead and start. But I don't want you to lose sight of where you are, right? Remember,
Exactly.
we talked about that from the very get-go.
Yes.
But don't wait for everything to be perfect. And that's usually my thing, and I would challenge anybody, any day, anytime. I will pick someone that started implementing an idea over someone who took 5 years sitting on a business plan, because
Exactly.
there's no perfect business plan,
Um,
right? There's so much you're going to learn from taking action. There's so much you're going to learn from implementing what you know, that by the time the person who was writing the business plan begins their process, you have made your mistakes so many times and you've perfected it. You've put systems in place. Every mistake that you'd have possibly made, you're already ahead of the game because you
over
have
the
corrected them in the process, and you
this,
did that from a small place. And
this,
so my biggest thing is start where you are, start with what you have. When I
thank
talked earlier to Pancho, I told you the reasons businesses fail, and you notice none of them was money. And I always want to point that to people, because money is not what makes a business. Yes, you need money to scale a business. You don't need money to start a business. You need drive. You need conviction. You need clarity. You need a
thank you
bigger
so
problem that you want to solve that is going to benefit the greater good of many
yes.
people.
Thank you.
Those are the things. And
Thank
then
you.
you need to do research. You need to be educated. So,
Thank
but I
you.
want you to start with where you are and you keep building these things. It's not going to be perfect, but if you start where you are, you grow through the process, you get better
Process.
at
Thank
it,
you.
and
Thank you
in
so
no time you become the expert. That's yes,
much.
that's one of them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 4 billionaire just joined. He said it's better late than never.
Who?
His network has been faulty. He's been
Ah,
trying.
my
Thank you
boo.
so much, 4 billionaire.
That's my
Please,
brother
I'm
right
begging.
there.
Thank you. I'm begging all of you that are joining today. Please don't leave us or don't come only because of Dr. and go. Please keep coming. We have good information, good guests. The goal of Glam Media is to promote and support anybody that is doing anything positive in our community. So please keep coming and keep watching and keep sharing, supporting us. Keep pumping hard for our good doctor. Thank you so much for that, Doc. Please, if you want to get more tips on how to start and sustain a business, you have to get this book. I'm telling you, what she said is just one point. There is more that is in the book that you have to get.
Yes.
Okay, see, the next chapter that I'm going to touch on that affected me is the chapter about fear,
Ooh,
how
yes,
to overcome your fear.
yes,
So please
yes,
shed us some
yes. Oh,
brief
that's
light on
that
that. Yes.
that is a really really good chapter, because
Mhm.
I think a lot of people do not we don't really give people the honest what's it we don't have the honest conversations about failure. Do you understand?
Exactly,
Because
failure.
if you
Fear
notice,
and
everybody
failure.
always
Yes.
comes to tell you guys the cute story, and then here we are, boom. But I'm telling you, the entrepreneurial journey is full of so many bumps, it's full of so
All
many
right,
ups
book.
and so many downs,
I want to write my
where
own book.
I had to make sure that I put it out there that you're going to fail. You will
Exactly.
fail. Now, there are different types of failures, right? There's the failure where it's out of stupidity, you know, by your own inaction or actions.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there's also failure where you did your best, but it was out of your control,
Exactly.
completely out of your control, right?
Yes.
And
Yes, sir.
then there's failure where it's just the timing was bad.
Exactly.
Because when I say out of your control, you can have out of your control is because of the people around you, where you can control your actions, you cannot control the actions of those around you. But then there's also the failure of timing. You have the right seeds, you have water to water it, but it's the wrong season,
Yeah.
right? And the
Yes,
plant
sir.
cannot take up. Now,
Yes, yes,
it
yes.
doesn't matter what type of failure, everybody is going to experience some form of failure.
That's
Failure
true.
can come in forms of betrayal, it can come in form of losing resources, it can come in lawsuits, it can come in you losing one of your biggest clients because of a mistake you made. The failure is going to come. When you go into business, you have to be ready for this. You have to embrace it and be okay with it. Now, am I saying you should do things to fail? No, don't do things to fail.
It's
right? That's why if you notice, one of the things I mentioned earlier is that people are lazy. They don't do research. If you are constantly educating yourself and informing yourself, right, again, you have no control over everything, but it sets you apart. There's no reason for me to know that, if I research that if I use this product, it doesn't go on my skin, and I don't use the
That's
you know what I mean. I'm
yeah,
gonna
that's
have bumps if I go use it without studying. But if I
thank
study, I will know, okay, maybe I need to use it, but I need to use it under certain conditions. Dr. Edith is here, she can
you.
enlighten us
You
about
can,
skin and
she
all of
just
that,
made a
right?
comment that is killing me. I was laughing like that because of her comment. She said,
So
the
that
journey of an entrepreneur is exactly what the Bible meant when he said, walking through the valley of the shadow of
yes,
death.
yes. So anything that is worthwhile will be tested.
That's true.
Anything that is worthwhile will be challenged. But not only that, even for you, the person, God has to allow that process, because there's
Exactly.
a risk
Learn.
that
Learning process.
without failure, you can become arrogant. You might think you've figured it out, and you might
Exactly.
think you're too good. And then you go into the market, instead of being a person of service, you feel like you're doing people a favor.
That's
So
so funny.
failure is such an important part of our entrepreneurial journey that
Thank you.
my hope is to encourage people to embrace it.
Thank
I'm
you.
not saying that you should not be mad at yourself if you did something stupid. I'm
Yeah.
saying you mourn, you cry about your errors
Exactly.
or whatever was beyond your control, but you need to snap out of it,
And
because you
move
have to
on.
start asking yourself, what could I have done differently?
Exactly.
Or what have I learned?
Thank you,
What
sir.
can I do differently going forward? And to me, when a person goes into business knowing that these things could happen, but instead of being caught up with what they have no control, what they cannot change, what they cannot fix, they can focus on what can I do differently,
Thank
and
you,
take the
sister.
right action and keep
Thank
it
you.
moving.
I
That's
know.
how it is. So my encouragement to anyone who is scared of starting because they don't want to fail is, it's okay, but fail
It's okay to
forward.
fail.
You will
Exactly.
fail,
Thank you.
just fail forward. Take it and just keep moving.
Keep
Take it. I
moving.
mean,
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad there's so many entrepreneurs here. I see John. There are some people I may not know. If I don't call your name, don't take it personal. I
You
just
don't
don't know
get
what you
angry.
do. I
Exactly.
see
Yeah.
John. There's Dr. Edie. There's Dr. Javnor. These are people I know personally. I'm very
Personally.
close to all of them.
Yeah.
There's Leo, my junior brother over here. Uh, all of these people, we have all experienced all types of
Types of
losses
failure.
and failures, right? Things that were either within our control or not. But I think they are all here is because they have continued to rise above. And I'm
Above it.
referencing people in our community. I'm not referencing people around so that people can
Yes,
also know
exactly.
that
Can
there are
relate.
people amongst us
Exactly.
that have
Yeah.
gone through that, right?
That's true.
But they never made it become their narrative. They took
That's
it,
true.
took the lessons, kept it moving forward and implementing what they have learned and doing better. That's the
That's true.
only
Thank you,
way
sis.
to build something sustainable. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. We have a comment from you can be anything podcast, and she says, love loads Lily. I love when you talk about giving ourselves grace even when we fall. And that's why I picked that chapter. That's why I told you I love that chapter, because I can relate. I cannot
Yes.
count the number of times that I have failed in my entrepreneurship journey. But you
Oh
know what?
yes.
I always tell myself, I don't care. Like right now, I had last year I was doing well. I had my Glam boutique. You shop for me, right?
Yes.
My
Yes.
online, my website, everything was going good. After a while, my this thing
Yes.
hosting expired. I
Went
tried
down.
to renew it. It's been a nightmare just to get a new host. Every time that I get a new host, something goes wrong. So I've
Oh.
gotten to the point where I said to myself, I'll find somebody else to do the website for me, because the person that I've been working with, have had so much difficulties getting to it. So, but for
Oh.
me, I know that my Glam boutique, and I'm speaking it
Yes.
by God's grace. Someday
Yes.
I'll have a shop where people will walk into it and it will be written the Glam boutique. People will walk into it.
Yes.
I've come a long way with that my boutique, from carrying jewelry in my trunk
Yes.
of my car, selling from one house to the other, to
Oh.
online to one. So I will not give up on that my boutique. I know that one day by God's grace. And I'm
Oh.
doing that in honor of my mom, because I learned anything fashion that I knew from her. So I said, since I cannot sew, I'm going
Yes.
to do a fashion boutique in honor of my mom, and I must do it. What come rain, come shine, unless God,
Yes.
in short, as long as I'm alive, God knows that
Yes.
that's my goal. I'll get it
Yes.
done. So thank you so much, sis. Thank you.
Yes.
That chapter really motivated me. And I really hope that anybody that gets your book and reads it can understand that it's okay to fail, but you have to keep trying. All right.
Dr.
The
Edie
next.
just said her IT guy can help, by the way. And trust me, when she says someone is good, they are good.
Okay. Thank you.
So please
Yeah,
connect with her. She got you. Yes.
okay, I'll connect with her. I have somebody that also reached out to me to help. So I'll connect with her and I'll figure out how to get it done because
Yes.
I really want to continue it. So
And you
thank you
had
so
some
much,
good
sis.
pieces. I got some, but go ahead. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, the next one that got me again that I could relate to is the one about showing up. And we mentioned it while we're talking here. We talked, you even talked in reference to Pancho. And he's actually the reason why that chapter, I could relate with that chapter. You see this, my Pancho. I call him my Pancho because he's my personal, my presi, my manager. This my Pancho will show up for me. He will leave a hospital bed and come here for
Oh,
me. He will show. I don't even understand. There are days that I will tell him, Pancho, it's okay. You don't have to come to the show. It's okay. You don't have to post on Glam Media
wow.
today. You don't have to. So when I read that chapter, the only person that kept coming to my head was Pancho. In this life, if you have one person that
Yes.
shows up for you that you can count on, that's what I read in that chapter. If you have just one person that you can rely on, count yourself lucky and blessed. I don't play with Pancho because he's one person that doesn't leave me. No matter how bad the situation is, if Pancho no come for you, no say
Thank
na
you,
because
Pancho.
he's really bad.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pancho will come after. This is the second time he's coming after the guest just because he had to do something and then he had to show up. Even though I told him it's okay, you don't have to. I will do it by myself. So I thank you so much for that chapter, sis. I really, really related to it. I appreciate you. And and it also led me to the next chapter, which is about support, which is you talked about your dad and how he supported your mom to become who she wants to be. So please shed us some light on that.
Yes, yes. So I and I thank you, by the way. My God, you have said so many things. I Before I
Mhm.
even go into that, I wanted to point out something that really touched my soul when you spoke, and you said you could see yourself when you were reading the story. And I am so grateful that I have had that kind of feedback from my other friends who just got their books from Amazon on Thursday, and they keep saying I can relate to this. It just makes me feel like you're talking about my mom too. Thank you for writing this. You did it on behalf of all of us. And so
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that, because honestly, in honoring my mom's legacy, I feel like I said things that many of us would have loved to say. Maybe we did not necessarily put it in the book or would be saying it. But it came now in the book. So thank you for sharing that. And most importantly too is taking those lessons and wanting to pass on to the next generation. And so this particular part of support, I really want the men to hear. And I say this because I'm such a believer in the family unit. I'm a big believer in the family unit. I saw what my parents could accomplish with little, but because they had each other. And I strongly believe that my mother could be the kind of woman she was because of
Because
her
of the
husband,
love.
the
Yes.
kind of love and the kind of support she had. Because you've seen people that have a drive, they can do it, but a lot of times they are being held back and they're being delayed because they ended up with the wrong partner. And I really wanted people to see that my dad's support went a long way for my mom. I mean, I saw my dad. Oh, my dad dropped my mom off at her workshop before going to work, his own work at PMT, and picked her up
Yeah.
after work. I'm talking about every day of my life, except when my mom started walking to go to work, but he would pick her up. If he
Yes.
left work early, he would come and hang out with her. They both locked the shop every single day. Every single day they would lock the shop, and go home. So even like when there was tragedy, remember I talked shared my mom's failure in the shop.
Yes.
One of the
Yes.
things was both of them were very aware that they had locked the shop, and one of the things that happened was from a story for another day. But
Yes.
you can see the kind of support that my mom had. It was so strong that there was no way for her to fail. And I'm encouraging every man who is listening to this that God has empowered us women with so much. We are an embodiment of so much. It's not a coincidence that we're the ones that have a womb. Anybody that carries a womb is a person that carries vision. It's a person that can birth anything. Which means if you have a wife, you have a woman in your life that is very driven or has ideas or even wants to support you. They may not be the business person, but they want to
Exactly.
support you. If you build a unit that is fueled by love, is felt by sacrifices, is felt by loyalty, where they don't have to worry about what you're doing. It's fueled by ongoing pouring into each other with words and building each other, I can tell you there's no limit to what you guys will accomplish.
Thank
I
you.
saw that happen in my home. I saw what my mother became. I saw how she carried herself because she was a woman who was loved, and she knew that there was nothing she could do that would not have the support of her husband. When she lost everything, they worked together to help her start over again
Yes.
twice.
Thank you.
So I,
Thank you.
I, I want to just emphasize this, that if you're a man listening, I want to assure you that that wife that God has blessed you with, or that woman you're planning to marry, if you give her a little bit of support, I promise you, you will not believe the things that she will accomplish.
My dear
Incredible
sister.
things.
My dear sister.
So please be that man for your woman, because you're going to reap the rewards like never before. Yes.
Exactly. Thank you. People always take this for granted, but honestly, women, we are more than just housewives. We are more than just
Yes.
cooking, cleaning, washing clothes.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that women can do. God has
Yes.
given us the energy. We just need that support. We just need one person that can push us. And who better than your partner? Who better than the person that you share a room with? You come
Yes.
in the night and you tell him how your day went. You
Yes.
tell him, honey, this is my plan for the
Yes.
day, and he tells you, be mommy, you got this. You can do this. If you need anything, just by even staying home with the kids while you go to work, just by
Yes.
pushing you, I mean, men are naturally, they are born hustlers. God, even in the
Yes.
Bible, God gave them that responsibility. It's your,
Yes.
your place to till the soil.
Yes.
But women, when we decide to do it, we do it with all our energy. So
Yes.
what we need is that support from our men.
Yes.
So please, if you're a man, support your woman, support your
Yes.
sister, support your
Yes.
mom, support everybody. Thank
Yes.
you, Renee. Welcome, Renee. Renee, welcome. Stay home. Our village people will leave me focus. Please focus on your wife. Support her. Or push her. Anything she wants to do, stand behind that
Please.
woman. Oh, because
Yes.
she will bring you a lot of money. Oh, I'm
Yes.
telling you, people,
Yes.
support the woman. Thank you,
Yes.
Sister Edith Delight. Thank you so much. Glory, welcome back. We have
Yes.
Gay Bodwin Nong. I think that's your person, sis.
Let me see.
Bodwin Nong.
Okay.
He says he's learning. So thank you
Oh
also.
yeah. Okay. Hi,
Yes.
Gay. Thank you.
I
Thank you so
wish I
much.
know. I wish I could tell you all about that book. I'm telling you that it's been a long time I sat and read something that good. I've been reading stuff on social media. I've been reading, ebooks and stuff. But this morning I sat on my bed for 2 hours, 15 minutes, and I read that book because the moment I started, I couldn't stop until I finished reading it. Before Pancho, by the time I was calling you, was around 11:30. That's when I was even trying to go get breakfast, because I couldn't leave the book alone. I had to read it all. So please get a copy of that book. She talks about even health. There's health stuff, health tips in there,
Yes.
how to take care of your health, both mentally and physically.
Yes.
She talked about, having fun, having time,
Yes.
great time to have
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
She talked about, kids and how to help your kids to,
Yes.
have that entrepreneurial mindset. She talked
Yes.
about that as well. Then she talked about, of course, the family unit. The whole book is about the family, love, and
Yes.
support and everything.
Very
So please
important.
do your best to get the book. And then the
Yes.
end of the book, one of the things that also got me teary was the testimonials and the stories from your siblings, talking about
Yes.
your mom and what they learned from her. And the most interesting thing that I got from that book after I finished reading it was that you said everything that you know today in business and everything you learned from your mom, but you never had a conversation with her about it.
Yes.
You just watched what she was doing, how she was going about it, and you picked it up. And your
Yes.
sister, one of your sisters, said the same thing too. So I'm really, really, that means your mom was a whole bag of,
She
if she
was.
was here today, I
She
mean, now
was.
I see where you get it all from, because,
Yes.
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
No, she
So
really
now I see
was.
where you get it all from.
Yes.
Yeah,
You can
so
change.
please help us
Yes.
support her, get the book. You will learn
Yes.
so much from it.
Yes.
I'm telling you, if I start to tell you all about that book, you will not end the show today.
Thank
The
you.
book is
Thank
rich.
you.
And the most interesting thing is that it's not long. It's
No,
70,
it's
it's a
not.
hundred,
And I did that on purpose.
it's a
I
hundred and
really
one
did that on
pages.
purpose. Yes.
It's 101 pages, but the story
Yes.
is on 75 pages. The rest of it is the preface, the stories from her sister. Taste, I don't read, I don't digest, I don't drink their
See,
book.
I
I
said.
I don't drink. I tell you, sir, no plus the number of pages so your book, and the story is on 75 of those
Yes.
101 pages. That's where the story is.
Yes.
So it's not long. It's
It's
not
not.
something that
It's
will
not a
kill
long
you
read.
to retake more.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
very direct, straight to the point. Everything she talks about, she gives you the idea of what you want, gives you straight up. That's it. So
Yes.
thank you so much,
Yes.
sis. So let's go now to the third and last part of you, which is my own part that I love. I beg, show us your cute necklace. If you get to stand Mosiam, I beg.
Pam,
We
pam,
need to see.
pararara. Wait, no,
We need
Udi
to
my
see
chair.
our
I get some my
cuteness.
chair from my house. So I don't deny but and don't beg me to the chair. I still keep the chair. My people
Yes,
don't
keep
push me to
on.
the chair
You
is
guys,
not the only thing.
you
But
guys see the
I
necklace she
like
has
the chair
on? The necklace she has on. Sis, tell us about that because it's from the book. It's dedicated to your mom. So tell us about that.
and the handpiece.
And the
It's
handpiece.
really,
Okay.
it's
So
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much. So my daughter and I went into business. We set up a company called Kong Lapatu in honor of my mom,
Your mom, yeah,
and
congrats.
just Kong Lapatu, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really my mom was very big on a woman on encouraging women to look their best
Yes.
because, and I'll tell you the truth, whenever a woman walks into a room, now not all the time but most of the time, a woman who has put herself well together walks different from the one who just wore her flats and came out of the house. Her head is down, she doesn't want any eye contact because she knows people might be checking her out, and if she's not presentable enough, uh, but when a woman has put herself together, she's decently dressed with the right accessories and she knows she's on her A game. I mean, look at the way you're shining today, right? And like I told you, you walk in different, you walk different, you talk
I,
different. And
yes.
and my mom was very big. My mom looked good all the time, and she never played with her jewelry, her makeup. It's a
Yes.
mystery that I don't know how to wear foundation. It's a mystery, you understand? I don't even know how, I don't know how to wear foundation to draw my eyes, but she took her time, and I wanted to create a line of, I mean, not create, I mean, we found the jewelry, but we wanted to, have a line where when women wore pieces, it was very unique. It's not something you just buy from the store and you wear. It's something that when you put it together, it makes you walk tall, right? Like,
Mm.
okay, I mean, this alone, I don't need anything else. It's such a statement piece by itself. Now, this is one of the hand stuff you can get for summer as well. But the idea behind the company first was to get my daughter really hands on in the entrepreneurial journey. My daughter already likes business, but it's one thing when you're telling them what you do and getting them involved here and there. Like, I hire her to do work for my company, which is a tax write-off, by the way, for all my business people here in the US. And no,
Mm.
as your CPA, I can advise you on that. But it was very different when I said, let's go into partnership, right? Because now we had a conversation about what partnership ownership is about, what part of ownership we were going to have. If she wanted to be paid when she went out on a vendor event and then she has shares as well, what would that look like if you're going to be an employee and an owner of a business? I mean, I sat down, we have broke all of that down, and we had a whole agreement, we wrote everything down. And
Wow.
I think it's been so beautiful because she gets to see it. I had exposed my daughter to Excel when she was about 5 or 6. She started a business back then, but I didn't know she was too young. I almost killed the child. The child ran and left the business. So now we decided to she was doing customized jewelry, right? Putting nail.
Mm.
It was very cute, very nice. And then Mama Bear over here, because I believe in excellence, I'm like, wait, when people place an order, you're supposed to enter it on your Excel spreadsheet, give them a timeline, all of those things. And trust me, this is a little 6-year-old girl. And she had hired her little friends in the neighborhood. She paid them $1 each because each jewelry was like $5. It was really cute, but I know I pressured her out of that business. And she was like, I'm not doing it again.
No
I'm
more,
done.
mommy. No more.
And my friends were so kind. They all supported. They bought a ton and we delivered some. But I know I stressed her out because I was like, wait, you want to play? You're playing when you have orders? Like, and this is about, she was only 6. So now this is different because she's
So you
12.
give her time to grow again. Yeah,
She's
that's
been exposed to Excel already. She understands the importance of record keeping, accurate record keeping. I mean, when we
wow.
go places and come back, she'll be like, no, that receipt was not from when we went to the event, Mama. That was from last week. And so we cannot
Wow.
put it. That means it's not a business deduction, okay?
That's
And
good.
then she enters the information in Excel and we have these conversations. Even like today, I was asking her about what piece to wear. And she's like, it depends on the dress you're wearing, right? And I was like, you're right.
Okay,
I didn't think
okay,
it through.
girl.
So we went through it. But I just getting her involved, and doing this, I'm hoping to pass something to her that I never got the chance to do with my
Listen.
mom. I learned from my mom, but I never had hands-on experience, and I never had any conversations. And my mom left too soon. Now, if my mom was alive, I'll probably be able to ask her questions, right?
Listen.
And talk about these things, because maybe because I was, back then she thought I was too young, and so I said they're not too young. Get
Exactly.
them involved and get them
Mhm.
involved, as
Thank
soon as they are within that age. Don't
thank
overwhelm them, but get them involved. And the result has been really amazing. I'm
Wow.
not pushing it. The first vendor event we had, she came back, she said, now I see why people who work 9 to 5 come home and they're so tired and they don't want to talk to anybody. I'm like, oh,
Yes, thank you so much,
what's so
sis. Thank
easy?
you.
So
Let me
yes,
take,
yes,
yeah,
it's
let me
been
take a few
absolutely
comments here. Thank
yes.
you. Renee says, share the link to the book. Yes, Renee will share it. It's on
Thank
Amazon. We'll
you.
share it as soon as we're done with the show. Adeline Fru, my sister, my teacher, my
I think I'm a
mentor.
dumb grandchild
She's
from KG.
here.
Oh, I did. Thank
My
you.
IT guru
Yes.
mama. She's here.
In
She
the same
says, Mama.
neighborhood, since she knew my parents. Yes. Thank
Yes.
you, Ade. Yes.
Yeah, she said Mama Mbinglo is very proud of you guys. I was privileged to know your mom and she's super proud of how you're representing her. I know. I was reading your book and I was feeling proud as if I'm your mom. Like I was feeling proud on her behalf. So I mean, I know that she's in heaven smiling. Everybody tells me the same thing. Oh, your mom, because I always cry. I miss my mom to the extent that, sometimes I get discouraged to do stuff because she's not here to see me do it. Because those are things that I talked about with her, and I told her I wanted to start a talk show, I wanted to do this, I wanted to promote people, support people, I want to act in movies, I want to do this. But sometimes just the fact that she died, like, and I'm thinking, if I do these things, what am I doing it for? The person that I wanted to do it for is no more. So I mean, it's people will tell me, oh, she's so proud of you. She's watching from heaven. So I believe that they're watching from heaven and they're proud of us. So thank you so much, sis. Thank you so much for this wonderful talk show today. I couldn't tell you how much I've learned, how much I wish we couldn't, we don't have to even end the show. And everybody that showed up today, thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Joybert. Thank you, Dr. AD. Thank you, sister. Thank you, Fabi Leonard. He didn't give up with all the network issues
I
and all
know.
that. He even said
Cool. Thank you.
he's going to sell his phone, but he didn't give up. He kept coming back and watching. So thank you so much. Sis, do you have any pieces that you can show? Any of your other the jewelry?
Uh-oh. I didn't bring them out.
You seriously? I
Mama,
told you
they
to
want
bring
they
it
want
out.
to see some more jewelry.
Share them
Yes.
in the
Harry,
comment.
Harry, bring some. My
Images and
business
share them
partner
in
is
the
over here.
comment
Mama Harry, just
section as
grab some. I
well.
have the suitcase open, some of the jewelry pieces.
Yes. Okay. If you have some that you can just show, just a few,
She's gonna
like so
bring it
people
real
can
quick. Yes, yes. No,
different different designs,
they are
right?
really cute. So
Different
for right
designs.
now, I need
Mhm.
to point out something. This particular with the business right now, we're only doing vendor events, but we're going to have a couple of events. I think we have Dallas, we have Maryland. We're doing vendor events just because it gives her the opportunity to work directly with individuals, with partner, with customers.
Mhm.
Um, versus your fan baby. Thank you.
So if I want to
Uh,
order mine, you will not mail it to me,
I
sis.
will. So now, in
Okay.
order to mail, it has to be at least 3 pieces. So there's
No.
one here. Hold on, let me show. Oh, these are nice. These are really. I love these. You can tell these
You
are so
see?
nice.
You
So
see?
any orders from 3 pieces we can mail. But if it's like one order, this is another
Okay.
nice one, and it's blue.
Okay.
They're really nice. You saw she went and brought them herself. This is another red. It's very different from what I have. You can see mine has like gold here.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is orange. We have the things for the hands as well. They're pretty. They're really pretty,
Okay.
and they all come from Kenya, by the way. So
Oh, from Kenya.
there's
Okay.
black and white. They're really cute. I mean,
Wow, that one is
you put
really
them. It's
beautiful.
just it's a game changer for any outfit. If you don't want something too long, this one is a bit shorter. It goes on your neck like a choker.
You
So
see?
they're really really nice. Yes.
Yeah, no.
So we have for everybody.
You know me and jewelry, no. You
And
know me
bags
and
too.
jewelry.
Yes, I know
You
you.
know
No,
me
much
and
more. We'll
jewelry. So
definitely
now my
talk.
own
We'll
place
talk.
that now my own weakness. I to say I don't want me flour, I don't want chocolate. If boy want charge me my for me just buy me jewelry. That's it.
Now order, you don't fall ho ha.
I don't
You
really
don't fall ho
for
ha.
me so I'll
Yes.
just tell my papa say pa. You see that papa, that other papa don't buy me diamond, or you want challenge it, or you want my go for you.
Mu do ha.
So that's
Oh.
thank you so much, sis. Thank you for accepting our invitation. She had to travel, but she still said when I come back,
Yes.
I'll get
Yes. I got
certain
in
time.
today. I was like, this is
Thank you so
happening.
much, sis.
Yes.
You come back or you come back to this show. I
Yes,
always tell
so
my people the first guests that we've been having here are people that are like I always tell them I appreciate them because we're just starting, and so a lot of people don't accept to come here because I know that the reason is because we have not made it. So they are like, I can't then I will watch it. So the people that accept to come, I appreciate you people double. And one day, by God's grace, I'll bring you guys back on the show, and by then we'll be bigger and better in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, Pancho, salute dog, take dog your mind. See me what talk before we go.
I just want to say thank you to all those who have been following. Thank you, Glam Queen, and especially Doc. Thank you. Thank you. Definitely, it's been a great session. Some of these things, I'm sure there are information that people should probably pay for consultation because they actually give them
Absolutely.
out like that and everything. So, like, thank you very much. And I hope to see you some other time. Yeah, I hope to see you some other time. Safe journey as you soon go on with your shooting growth. So, thank you very much
Thank
once
you
more.
so much.
Thank you, Pancho. Thank you too. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone who watched us today. I'm really appreciative of you guys because Facebook has a new policy now where they say, "Oh, it's not about views anymore. People have to like because sometimes people just come on the show and they leave, but now Facebook wants them to stay and watch for a certain length of time before the page can do good." So we really appreciate everybody that has watched and you stayed, and watched with us for more than a minute. I think they said more than 2 to 3 minutes or so.
Okay.
So we really appreciate you guys and thank you for all the shares. Thank you for all the love. We have a way of rewarding our faithful followers. We try to do it publicly, but they said it will harm the page. So now we just call them out and we support them in our own way. So you guys already know how we do it. We'll pick our person for the day and we'll reach out to you and we'll do what we do on a regular basis. So thank you guys. Thank you everybody who joined us today. And see, thank you so much. I will reach out to you for those jewelry. I want mine. You know me that I will get it.
Oh
So
no,
I
I
want
got you. I got you.
and she's also my client. She bought from Glam Boutique. So
Yes.
send me those pictures. So let me
I do. I have to send you those pictures.
send me those pictures. Let me post. That's what we call. That's why I said that chapter that I read about fixing each other's crown. I related with it because I love to support people, and I have people that also support me in return. And it doesn't change anything take anything from us. You support me, I support you, and we grow because that's what Pancho and I, we believe that we rise by lifting each other. That's why we're doing the show. So thank you guys. Thank you. I don't want to go. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, sis.
What
Thank
an honor.
you.
Pancho, you're amazing. It's just so great getting to know you. You
Thank you,
wowed me
Doc.
today, by the way.
Yes,
The questions you asked, right? Like just, like you said, it's a different system, but you came prepared. Thank you for that. I enjoyed that part a lot. As you can tell, I love entrepreneurship. So when I get in there, I'm just, in it.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Please go follow Dr. Lilly. Go follow Dr. Lilly Mbinglo. I will drop her page on the comment section and we'll drop the link to the book for those who can get it on Amazon. I'm dropping it right now as soon as we're done. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Onela. Thank you, Lorna. Thank you, everybody. Dave, Norma, from the beginning. Thank you.
Very eloquent, like even though that she not stop the show, she's very eloquent, you just want to listen to her talk.
Oh, thank you, Patrick. They say the community Buddha.
That's what she's saying. That's what they're saying. I don't know what to do anymore.
You're the eloquent one now. You're the eloquent one. You've been handpicked by the community. The Patrick is the eloquent one. Thank you.
Yeah, me have picked. He says, Patrick, I'll be telling you, said you want to go even be that show that story. We just meet up. Just tell us so meet up. I was upload. Just now let me know.
Yes.
I know I will drink my wine today.
Let me so.
Because now you can say you don't go for some place where you meet up on a story, so no one go has. Now say they. That's all.
Such a good feeling. No,
thank you. I'm really
awesome. Thank you.
I don't pray for the show. When I pray for the show, may one day maybe to can light camera, so may even Obama the cash don't talk for we are back. When I pray for we. Thank you so much, Dr. Edith.
Absolutely. Before we go off, you will notice some person it's salute me now. He say, hey, check it out. I need you to check it out, okay?
I think na Renee. I don't
No, not that. For under my page, some lady, he write you, a person from here.
Okay.
Not today. When I be make the post,
okay.
Oh no, I'll send out for you.
Okay, mom. Okay, mom. Yeah, I'm very good at responding to comments.
He just actually launched a whole TV channel, something. I'll connect with them, but yeah, I hope that could also open some doors here.
Then that one day we'll do for tele, when I'll see
Yes,
me for
yes.
television.
Edith, you're awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sis.
Poor, you're the best. Thank you all, Solange,
Thank you.
everyone, Dr. Joyber, you know now our fam. So thank
Thank
you,
you,
everyone
sister.
that came.
Bernadette,
I
thank
saw
you.
you, Giselle Diamond. Thank you for everyone. Bernadette, thank you guys.
I know. If we did not
And
call
those
your
I
name,
don't
it's
yet
because
know,
we
I
did
hope I
not
get
see
to
you.
meet.
Oh. Story be
Yes.
the sweet, oh,
Yeah.
story sweet, so that's
Yeah,
mala.
I really have many more questions, but then don't worry.
Well,
Una go now. Una no come up.
no, the name on Monday house. We did
Okay,
yeah.
okay, all the viewers.
Well, let
Make
me
una
throw
go.
something out there. Anybody, any person with that you want to take advantage. You have any question relating to business or tax? You can hop on it or non-profit. And my expertise in that.
Exactly.
Anybody, I'll happily serve. Even off here, I'll be able to serve. Just
Show don't
putting
fit
it out
show.
there. Yes. Una bye.
Una buy show don't fit. Okay, audience, una go. So that me doctor go. Then me and Pancho will go after. We'll go last.
All right, though. You know, my
Thank
first
you.
time this would be.
Thank you, sis. Love you so much. Thank you, Mama. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think I have to come
Bye,
out.
Doc.
Wow. Bye,
You go.
everyone.
You go. You. Then Pancho now will go after.
I do.
Okay, doctor, don't go. Oga.
We'll see who the managing